Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, we are going to be taking a look at perhaps one of the dumbest articles I have ever read in my life, right? Over here on the channel, we have covered a lot of different situations where certain words and phrases and things have basically become offensive to people. Like, I remember in specific a video I made called, like, saying hey guys is now offensive because you can't call people guys because that's offensive, right? And, you know, we've covered a lot of stupid stuff like that on the channel, right? Talking about people getting offended over like the dumbest things possible, man. Just like finding reasons to be offended almost, because like I just cannot imagine that people like unironically see these words and like a chill goes up their spine and they're like, ugh, I just can't say that. That's offensive. There's just no way people really behave like this, right? I don't know, man. Maybe I don't get out enough, but when I do, I don't hear anybody complaining about this stuff. It just seems like very like terminally online, ridiculous kind of behavior where they just are trying their hardest to find something to be offended about, right? But believe it or not, this isn't coming from the internet this time. This is coming from a respected establishment, which is Stanford University. So one of the most prestigious universities in the United States has issued a list of words, an index of forbidden words, according to this article by the Wall Street Journal, that are basically going to be taken away from the school's websites, computer code, things like that, and they're basically finding new phrases and words that they can use that are less offensive, you know, maybe won't hurt people's feelings as much. And one of the most ridiculous possible claims is made in this, like right at the beginning of the article, where they are basically saying that it's offensive to say that you're an American, right? You shouldn't say that because, well, you wouldn't want to say that you're an American, would you? I mean, that's just fucking terrible. We've gotten to this point, I feel like, in American society, pardon my usage of that word, I mean, I apologize for that, but here in American culture, right, where it's become almost like cool to just hate the United States. It's like cool to hate America. Now, me personally, I love the United States. I love this country. I mean, I've lived here my entire life. I was born here. There's really nowhere else on the planet I would rather live than right here in the United States. I absolutely love this place. Is there a lot of shit wrong with it? Absolutely. Is there a lot of things we need to address and fix? 100%. But part of loving your country and part of loving the place that you came from is realizing those flaws and those issues and actually wanting to do something about fixing them to make the place better. If the house you live in has a leaky roof, most people wouldn't sell the house and go move into a new one, right? They would just have the roof fixed. So why can't we do the same here, right? But I digress, okay? I'm kind of getting off topic here. So like I said, there's a whole list of words we're about to take a look at here today and talk about. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. I can't imagine honestly putting this together and feeling like I did the right thing, you know? Like thinking that this was fire or like this was the fucking, just the right choice in general. I don't know, but parodists have it rough these days since so much of modern life and culture resembles the Babylon Bee. The latest evidence is that Stanford University administrators in May published an index of forbidden words to be eliminated from the school's websites and computer code and provided inclusive replacements to help re-educate the benighted. Call yourself an American? Please don't. Better to say U.S. citizen per the bias hunters, lest you slight the rest of the Americas. Immigrant is also out, with person who has immigrated as the approved alternative. It's the iron law of academic writing. Why use one word when four will do? You can't master your subject at Stanford any longer. In case you hadn't heard, the school instructs that historically masters enslaved people and don't dare design a blind study which, quote, unintentionally perpetuates the disability is somehow abnormal or negative, furthering an ableist culture. Blind studies are good and useful, but never mind. Masked study is to be preferred. Follow the science. Alright, you're about to hear me get fucking patriotic, fucking bald eagles flying off my shoulders, AR-15s in both hands, fucking Big Mac in my fucking lap. You know, just loving America, right? But there will never be a day in my life as an American citizen where I will not say that I'm an American citizen. I don't give a fuck how offensive it gets, whose feelings it hurts, what upsets people. I don't care, bro. I am an American. I was born American. I will fucking die American. The Chinese could try overrunning the West Coast tomorrow and invading this country, and I'm a fucking American until I die. It's that simple, man. More people should have that mentality, dude. This idea that like, oh, you can't call yourself an American because you might hurt the rest of the America's feelings. You know, I don't see Mexico calling their citizens Americans or any of the Central American countries calling their citizens Americans Americans in any way. It's pretty much the United States is the country that calls themselves Americans, and that's because, well, we have America in the fucking name of our country, you morons. Like, it's insane. These are people who are working for one of the most prestigious universities on the planet, and they can't piece this one together, dude. Like, it's fucking incredible to me. We are all Americans. Like, even if you hate this country, if you live in this country, you're a fucking American. It's that simple, man. Like, you can just get over it. Like, sure, US citizen works, but why go through saying, oh, I'm a US citizen, instead of just saying you're an American, right? You don't hear people from Russia say, I'm a Russian citizen. They say they're Russians. People from China don't say, oh, I'm a Chinese citizen. They say they're fucking Chinese. Australians don't call themselves Australian citizens. They are Australians. What is the need in using two words when you can just use one that describes it much better? Like, no one gets this fucking confused, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just fucking stupid. But also, you can't say immigrant now. You gotta say person who has immigrated. Like, literally using 4 words to say literally the same fucking thing that the one word says. What is wrong with calling someone an immigrant? If someone comes across the border from Mexico to the United States, whether, you know, illegally or legally, whatever it is, that person is an immigrant. It's that simple. Like, you fucking went to a different country to live. You're an immigrant. It's that simple. Why do I have to say person who has immigrated as an approved alternative? Why do we have to drag this out so it'll be quote unquote less offensive? Apparently you can't master your subject because historically masters enslaved people, because there can't be more than one meaning to a word, right? Every word has to have one fixed definition, and it's always got to be the most inherently negative one too. You know, you can't just, I don't know, bro, like every time I've ever thought of the word master, I think of like Master Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just a complete badass, right? I'm not thinking of some dude fucking sitting out there with a bunch of cotton fields enslaving a bunch of people. I feel like that's like most people don't immediately think of that, bro. Like, I don't know why they think that, like, this is what people, I don't know. I just don't fucking get it, man. I don't know. But apparently you also can't say blind study because it perpetuates that a disability is somehow abnormal or negative. Well, I hate to be that guy. By the way, I'm actually partially blind in one of my eyes. I've never told you guys this here on YouTube, but I am partially blind legally in my left eye. I've never once been offended by the words blind study. You know why? Because I'm not a fucking pussy. Who honestly gets offended over anything like this? Like, dude, you could have the 3 blind mice walking around the living room and saying blind study. They wouldn't turn a fucking ear to it. No one cares about this kind of stuff, man. Like, this idea that we have to fucking, like, clean everything up and scrub it down so fucking bare minimum so, like, oh, it doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. Can we stop with this shit, man? Like, let's just be real here. Is being blind not abnormal? Is it not? Like, what is the definition of the word abnormal at this point? Does it not mean something that is not typical or usual? What percentage of the population's blind? If it's not more than 50%, it's basically abnormal, man. Let's just be fucking honest and real with ourselves here. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or it's like a horrible thing or you're like fucked up, I guess, but to sit here and pretend like being blind isn't abnormal in a world where most people aren't blind is just stupid. It's not ableist, it's not fucking mean, it's just reality, man. It's just the world we live in, folks. Talking about, oh, say masked study. That's offensive to people who had to wear masks during COVID because their family members died. See, I just found a new way for you to get offended. Now what are we gonna change the term to? Is it gonna be visually unavailable study now? Hey, that's offensive to people who closed their eyes to go to sleep last night and couldn't see. Now what word are we gonna change it to, man? This is like the constant issue that like we're having as a society at this point, right? I get it, right? You shouldn't be going around fucking calling people racial slurs and just being a douchebag. I get it. But are we really sitting here and pretending like our society has an ableism issue because of the words blind study? Or that we're having some sort of racial history be revisited every time someone says the word master? Like, let's get fucking real here, dude. It's almost like these people live in a completely different reality than the world we all live in, right? Like, the normal people, like you guys watching this YouTube video, I assume, you guys, like, we never go through this shit. I've never, in any social situation I've ever been in, heard someone be like, oh, dude, you shouldn't call yourself an American, bro. That's offensive. What about the people who live in Central America? Yeah, what about them? What about fucking Guatemalans and fucking Colombians in South America? Like, none of these people care. Like, I guarantee if you go to fucking Argentina, right, you know, and you're like, hey, are you guys mad that you don't get called Americans? They're like, no, we're fucking Argentinians. You know what I mean? We don't give a fuck that we're not called Americans. I think Venezuelans are upset because they're not getting called called Americans, they feel like they're getting slighted. No, they don't care, dude. Like, let's get serious. It's insane. Like, it's really just fucking ridiculous at this point, bro. Like, we live in a world where people are just finding any and everything to just fucking get upset about and like just get like fucking panties in a bunch over it, right? Talking about, yo, don't call yourself an immigrant, man. I know people who are like descendants of immigrants and like they would never ever get offended by me being like, oh, hey, like your dad was an immigrant. You know, they'd never be like, oh, what the fuck, you racist white cracker. It just would never happen because guess what? It's a completely different reality. Like, I get it, you know, oh, this is just to be eliminated from the school websites and computer code. But don't you think as a university, there's more important shit for you to be worrying about? And I just want to point this out too, man. You don't want to be called Americans. You know, you want to not call us Americans and shit like that. You want to change what terminology we use for ourselves. Maybe don't accept public funds from the taxpayers then. Because God forbid all these damn Americans out here that are helping fund these schools that are fucking coming up with this stupid crap. God forbid they offend you guys, right? You shouldn't be taking their money, right? It's just so cringe, man. Like, it's almost to the point where it's corny, right? Like, people have taken this shit. I hate using the word woke because, like, it's been hijacked by people and turned into cringe in and of itself. But this woke mob of people who are just constantly coming up with new shit to be offended about, constantly coming up with, like, the new target of the day. Oh, what can we fuck up today? What can we get mad about today? You know, like, it's time for this shit to stop, dude. I really genuinely don't think any of the words we just took a look at are actually, like, offensive or even, like, problematic in any way. And by the way, we didn't even go through all of them. There's multiple other words that we didn't even really go through, right? So just to add to the end of this, right, to really wrap this video up, this took them 18 months of collaboration in order to come up with this fucking list, and it even contained a trigger warning that said, quote, this website contains language that is offensive or harmful. Please engage with this website at your own pace. Really, dude? The word American is too much for you to read? Like, you read that fucking word and the red, white, and blue of our country's flag fucking sweeps through your heart so much that you just start crying at the idea of getting called an American? Come on, man. It's time to grow the fuck up, bro. You guys are in college now. You are grown adults. You can vote. Some of you drink legally. You can fucking sign up for the military, but you can't read the word master without fucking crying, bro. Like, come on, dude. It's ridiculous. Anyway, with all that being said, man, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. And until my next video, guys, thank you guys for watching. And this is Optimus, well, calling myself an American, goddammit, and signing out.